School is finished and summer has come. For some people, that means a short break and more school. For others, it means the end of school and the start of their careers. It's those people I want to help with this video because finishing school is terrifying. You've been used to going to school for over a decade now with elementary and high school and college, but now you're done. There's no more to study and you're prepared to start your career. Maybe you're lucky and you've already landed yourself a job and you know for certain that there's a new source of income waiting for you. Or maybe you're less lucky and you're stuck in the middle of a pandemic job hunting. In either case, making this shift from a student to a working professional is going to be rough and you're going to have to get used to a whole new type of environment. Today, I want to introduce you to the top 5 books that you need to read before starting your first job out of school. These books are going to teach you everything you need to know to become a top employee at your new company. Number 1, The Power of Habit. As I mentioned in my last video, how productive we can be essentially boils down to how healthy we are. And our health is a product of our habits. So how do we develop new habits or change old ones? And is it possible to remove the bad ones? All of these questions are answered in Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit. Not only is this book a fantastic resource on the neuroscience and psychology of habits, but it also provides us with actionable advice and easy to understand examples, making this a must-read manual for long-term success in the business world. I first read this book back in 2017, and since then I have found countless applications of it. Knowing how to change bad habits and develop new healthy ones is something that every ambitious graduate has to know if they want any chance at big success. Number 2, deep work. Developing productive and healthy habits is a great first step. You're now working and you're getting stuff done. So how do we make the most out of our working time? Deep Work by Cal Newport will introduce you to the theory of deep work. You see, the author realized that the most productive people in history have all had very different working habits from everyone else. They work for very long stretches of uninterrupted time, moving into a state of what the author calls, deep work. This state is when we get the most done and when we do our best work. So how can we control deep work? How can we integrate it into our everyday? And what are the most basic requirements to get into this state of deep work? Getting into deep work is something we should all strive for if we want to be top performers, which is exactly why I've included the book on this list. Number 3, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. Now that you have some good habits and that you understand the theory of deep work, we need to figure out how to implement all of this into our corporate lives. Because how can you structure your day around healthy habits when you get bombarded by hundreds of emails every day? And how can you get into a state of deep work when you work in an open office? How to Be a Productivity Ninja is on this list because it takes traditional productivity techniques and it shows us how they can be applied to a modern corporate office, while also managing to stay incredibly entertaining. I highly recommend this book because it's the only book I've read on productivity that explains and tackles the challenges of a modern workday. Number 4, Essentialism. When I read this book 3 years ago, I found it very preachy. But ever since then, it's been stuck in the back of my brain, and I've become very fond of its message. In our working and private lives, we are constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions, and we have a tendency to try and satisfy everyone. But that just doesn't cut it anymore. We have to stop thinking in terms of priorities and start thinking instead in terms of a priority. If we stop trying to do everything and start doing what is most important, then our time will be better spent. We'll get better results and achieve much more success. The philosophy of essentialism is simply to know what you want and then work towards just that. Number 5, 12 rules for life. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you succeed, everything will always boil down to your health, physical and mental. We will always experience hardship, grief, and sadness, and some periods of our lives will be harder than others. In 12 Rules for Life, clinical psychologist and professor of psychology Jordan Peterson outlines what are his most important 12 rules to follow in life. 12 rules that will assist you when times are tough and empower you when times are good. 12 Rules for Life is precious to me, and more than any other book on this list, it has helped me become who I am today. I have personally listened to every one of these books as audiobooks, and combined they add up to around 50 hours of listening. However, if you're in the habit of reading or you want to start the habit, then I highly recommend that you read these books physically, as they will have a much bigger impact that way. I'll be personally buying and rereading every one of them over the next couple months, as I will also be starting my career in August.